Guys, I just got off a coaching call and it reminded me of the importance of boundaries and honoring boundaries and giving clients boundaries and clients giving me boundaries. So sometimes when I work with people, there's something they're not ready to talk about, that they don't want to talk about. They maybe want to process it more. There's an emotion they're not ready to release, and I totally honor that. I totally honor that. I actually love honoring people's boundaries and giving them that space. Like, to me, that feels so good. And I want to make a video about it because it feels so good to me. So I wanted to share that, but also that for some people, it's really hard for them to even give a boundary because most of us, when we were raised, we were not allowed to give boundaries. And just because we're an adult doesn't mean that we all of a sudden know how to do it. I mean, some of us know how to push people away and reject them, but that's not a boundary. A boundary is saying kindly, I don't like this. I don't want to talk about this. I'm not ready to talk about this. And it's really healing for people when their boundaries honored, and I say, that's okay. We don't have to talk about it yet, or at all, until you're ready. I don't like to push people on things like that. I don't like to challenge people around those things. I'm more interested in honoring people's like their autonomy and accepting them and seeing where they will go. I really like when people give me boundaries because then I feel like I can trust them more. I know who they are. I know that they're communicating with me exactly what they want. They're not people pleasing me. And I like honoring people's boundaries and giving them the space to be who they are. There are internal boundaries and external boundaries. Internal boundaries are boundaries you give yourself. And then boundaries are not just about what we let in, it's also how we communicate to people so that we are kind to people in the way that we speak to them. I give people boundaries too. If people want to reschedule a coaching call last minute, like the free coaching calls I've been doing, I don't allow that. Like, you have to pay for the coaching call. Like, a boundary is something that you express kindly. If you got to yell it out, it's not a boundary, it's a reactivity. So boundary comes from you, like a centered place of you taking care of yourself. Lashing out and being reactive, like, don't do that, that's reactivity. It may sound like a boundary, but it's a reactivity. A boundary comes from really like a self-loving place. A self-loving place. So I just wanted to share that. It's really okay to give people boundaries around what you like or don't like, and maybe just start practicing. If that's a new concept for you, maybe start practicing. One thing I like to do with people is role play a boundary. You can do it if you don't have someone that's working with you. You can do it yourself. Like, imagine a scenario where something happens and imagine a way that you would like to respond and practice that. Just practice it a lot, like role play it. Then when it actually happens, you've already said it. It'll be easier for you to just call it out. Hope this is helpful, and I have a hair appointment today, so I'm going to make a few videos after I get my hair done. Thanks for watching my video about boundaries.